Okay, now hopefully you had success with measuring the area of kind of smaller surfaces and doing the conversions back and forth, and I hope that you tried the practice questions. Now, this is just kind of a continuation. I could have put this in one video, but I didn't. This is now just dealing with big areas. In the past, one video behind here, we were dealing with centimeters and meters, but now we're on to much bigger areas now. When you're dealing with larger areas, the typical SI measurement is in hectares. Of course, if you may be very familiar with this term already. A hectare is, the symbol is HA, and it is a large square with side lengths of 100 meters. So that means each side would be 100 meters long. And that if you multiply that together, if you were to go area equals side times side, or side squared, 100 meters times 100 meters, essentially that would give you 1 hectare, 1 HA, 1 hectare, okay? So we'll just try a few conversion questions here, and that should help you go on, move along with this. So the first one here, how many square meters are there in 1 hectare? Well, we know that if we have 1 HA, 1 hectare, we know that each side is 100 meters. So if you were to use the formula, area equals length times, that's for a rectangle. It would still give you the same answer, but side by side, area would be 100 meters times 100 meters. Area in this case would be 10,000. That's just calculation. Our units are meters. And how many dimensions did we consider? We considered 2 sides, so that's squared. Area is always squared. All right, let's try another one. A forest fire in northern Saskatchewan covered an area of 2,000 hectares. How many square kilometers did the fire cover? Now, when you do this question, you're going to want to have your conversion table or your formula sheet with you. This is not so much of a calculating the area question, it's more of just a conversion. So we need to know the values. So in this case, what we're doing essentially is we are going from a hectare into kilometers squared. Now, in this case, what we're doing essentially is we're going from something smaller into something larger. So by now, if you remember the last about 2 lessons ago, we are going from a smaller to a larger measurement. So that's going to be a division process. So what we're going to do is we're going to take 2,000 hectares and we're going to do division. We just talked about that, and that's going to give us kilometers squared. Now, based on the table, we know that that's a jump essentially of 2 factors of 10, so that's going to be 100. So if you take 2,000 hectares divided by 100, that will give you 20 kilometers squared. Again, the conversion, you'll notice these calculations are not too difficult. It's just a matter of having your table and knowing how many factors of 10 you need to move by, and is it division or multiplication. Let's try one more. Okay, a CFL football field essentially is 137 centimeters long. So I'll put that here. And it is 59.5 meters wide. They want the area in hectares. Ooh, okay. Well, that's fine. The first thing I'm going to do, though, is figure out the area in meters squared. So this is a rectangle, so that's length times width. So we will go 137 meters times 59.5 meters. If you stick that into your calculator, you get 8151.5 meters squared. Boom. That's great. Now, we want this into hectares. So if you look at your formula, at your conversion table, your formula sheet, meters we're going from a smaller to a larger measurement. So that means division. So what we're going to do is we know we're going to take the 8151.5 meters squared. We are going to be doing division, and that's going to give us something in hectares. If you look at that, what we're doing is, this is a bit of a step. we're going to actually have to move by 10,000. So we're going to divide by 10,000 in this case, and that's going to give us 0.8151 hectares. Now, I don't have the conversion table here, attached to this video, but I'm hoping that you can see, where did I get this 10,000 from? Can you see how many jumps, how many steps of 10 I'm doing in that case? Anyway, what you have now are some practice questions that I'd like you to try, and I will attach some assignments to this as well. Basically, make sure you can do these. There's an answer key involved, and move along from there. So you want to make sure that you can calculate area. That's number one, squares and rectangles. And you also want to make sure that you can go between different measurements in the SI system. Can you go from kilometers squared to hectares, or meters squared to hectares, vice versa? That's what you want to do out of this lesson.